Every person in this video should have died. A plane broke apart 2 miles above the Earth, and one of them fell the entire way down. A bomb erased a city, and one of them was standing in it, twice. A sniper had half his face torn off and was thrown onto a pile of corpses. None of them were supposed to live. All 7 of them did. This is the story of 7 people who survived the impossible. We begin with a man who survived the worst weapon ever used on human beings, and then survived it again. In August 1945, Tsutomu Yamaguchi was a 29-year-old engineer on a business trip in Hiroshima. On the morning of August 6th, he was walking to work when the first atomic bomb detonated less than 2 miles away. The blast ruptured his eardrums, burned the left side of his body, and temporarily blinded him. He spent the night in a shelter, and the next morning, burned and bandaged, he boarded a train home. His home was Nagasaki. On August 9th, he was in his office describing the Hiroshima blast to his disbelieving boss when the second atomic bomb detonated over Nagasaki, once again less than 2 miles away. Once again, he survived. Yamaguchi lived another 65 years. He died in 2010 at the age of 93, the only person officially recognized as a survivor of both atomic bombings. Our second survivor fell farther than any human being in history and lived. In January 1972, Vesna Vulovic was a 22-year-old flight attendant on a Yugoslav passenger jet. She wasn't even supposed to be on the flight. The airline had confused her with another stewardess who shared her name. 46 minutes after takeoff, a bomb in the cargo hold exploded. The plane tore into 3 pieces over the mountains of Czechoslovakia. Vesna was trapped inside the tail section, pinned in place by a food cart as it fell 33,000 feet, more than 6 miles to the ground. Everyone else on board died. Vesna survived. Her doctors had a strange theory about why. The fall should have stopped her heart on impact, but Vesna had unusually low blood pressure, and they believed that condition kept her heart from bursting. She lived to the age of 66.
Our third survivor didn't survive one impossible thing. He survived 3. Louis Zamperini was an Olympic runner who competed in the 1936 Berlin Games. When the Second World War began, he became a bombardier in the Pacific. In May 1943, his plane crashed into the ocean. 8 of the 11 men aboard died. Zamperini and 2 others climbed onto a small life raft, and there they stayed for 47 days. They drank rainwater. They caught birds with their hands. They fought off sharks. They survived a Japanese plane strafing the raft with bullets. After 47 days, they drifted 2,000 miles and washed ashore, directly into Japanese hands. Zamperini then spent more than 2 years in prisoner of war camps, singled out for brutal treatment because he was a famous athlete. He came home weighing 67 pounds less than the day he left. He lived to 97, and decades later, he returned to Japan and forgave the men who had tortured him. Our fourth survivor was 17 years old, and she fell out of the sky on Christmas Eve. In December 1971, Julianne Kupke was flying over the Peruvian rainforest with her mother. Lightning struck the plane. It broke apart at 10,000 feet. Julianne fell, still strapped into her seat, into the Amazon canopy below. She survived the fall with a broken collarbone and a deep gash in her arm. She was the only survivor of the 92 people on board. But surviving the fall was not the end. She was now alone, injured, in one of the most dangerous environments on Earth. Remembering advice from her biologist father, she found a stream and followed it downstream, knowing it would lead to people. For 11 days, she waded through the jungle, her wounds infested with maggots, surviving on a single bag of sweets. On the 11th day, she found a boat and shelter. The next day, loggers found her. She lived. Our fifth survivor did something no sane person would ever choose to do. In 1940, Witold Pilecki was an officer in the Polish resistance. The Nazis had built a new camp called Auschwitz, and the world didn't yet understand what it was. So Pilecki volunteered. He deliberately walked into a Nazi street roundup and let himself be arrested so that he would be sent to Auschwitz. He survived inside that camp for 2.5 years. He built a secret resistance network. He smuggled out the first detailed reports the Allies ever received about the gas chambers, and in 1943, he escaped. Our sixth survivor was shot in the face and woke up on the day the war ended. Simo Haiha was a quiet Finnish farmer, just 5 feet 3 inches tall. When the Soviet Union invaded Finland in the winter of 1939, he reported for duty with the same hunting rifle he'd used since childhood. He refused to use a scope. Over the next 100 days, in temperatures of 40 below zero, dressed entirely in white, Haiha became the most effective sniper in recorded history. The Soviets called him the White Death. On March 6, 1940, an explosive bullet struck him in the face, tearing away his lower jaw and his left cheek. Finnish soldiers found him and assumed he was dead. They placed him on a pile of corpses. Then someone noticed his leg twitch. Haiha was alive. He fell into a coma and woke up 7 days later on the exact day the war ended. He underwent 26 surgeries. He lived to the age of 96. Our final survivor wasn't struck by lightning once. He was struck 7 times. Roy Sullivan was a park ranger in Shenandoah, Virginia. Between 1942 and 1977, lightning found him again and again and again. It burned off his eyebrows. It set his hair on fire twice. It blasted him out of his truck. It hit him while he was fishing, while he was on patrol, while he was standing in his own front yard. 7 separate strikes. The odds of being struck by lightning even once in a lifetime are about 1 in 15,000. Roy Sullivan was struck 7 times and survived every single one. His fellow rangers became afraid to stand near him during storms. He earned a grim nickname, the human lightning rod. 7 people, 7 impossible situations, a fall from 6 miles up, 2 atomic bombs, 47 days at sea, a jungle, a death camp, a sniper's wound, 7 lightning strikes. Statistically, not one of them should have lived, but survival, history keeps reminding us, rarely follows the rules. If you'd want any of these stories told in full, let us know in the comments and subscribe, because every week we bring you the history the textbooks left out.